how to understand people. To understand people, first we must understand life itself. Because people live. And life is all about living. The business of life is to live, to exist, to survive, and if possible, to prevail. Yun po ang natural order of things. Genesis 1:1 to 12. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was barren, with no form of life. God said, I command light to shine, and light started shining. God looked at the light and saw that it was good. God said, I command the water under the sky to come together in one place, so there will be dry ground. And that's what happened. God named the dry ground land, and he named the water ocean. God looked at what he had done and saw that it was good. God said, I command the earth to produce all kinds of plants, including fruit trees and grain. And that's what happened. The earth produced all kinds of vegetation. God looked at what he had done, and it was good. Nang nilikha ng Diyos ang mundo, una niya nilikha, unang nilagyan niya ng kaayusan, ng lupa at ang tubig, pinaghiwalay, at ang una niyang nilikha mga halaman. Plants, of course, would need space, light, and water. Kaya nauna na yung lupa, yung liwanag at tubig. From then on, plants would compete for space, light, and water. And that is amoral. That's just the way life is. Walang masama, walang mabuti sa ginagawa ng mga halaman na pagpapaligsahan, pagpapataasan sa gubat para makakuha ng liwanag ng araw. Pagpapalaliman ng ugat para makakuha ng mga yaman ng lupa. Pagpapalawak ng mga sanga para walang tumubo sa ilalim niya, para wala siya kakompetensya. Kung paano nagpapakatayog ang isang puno at ginangapangan naman siya ng baging, kinakapitan ng mga dapo para sila ay mabuhay, walang masama't mabuti. There is nothing moral or immoral about that. The issue of life is amoral. And we understand plants. Genesis 1:20 to 25, God said, I command the ocean to be full of living creatures, and I command birds to fly above the earth. So God made the giant sea monsters and all the living creatures that swim in the ocean. He also made every kind of bird. God looked at what he had done, and it was good. Then he gave the living creatures his blessing. He told the ocean creatures to live everywhere in the ocean, and the birds to live everywhere on earth. God said, I command the earth to give life to all kinds of tame animals, wild animals, and reptiles. And that's what happened. God made every one of them. Then he looked at what he had done, and it was good. So matapos ang mga halaman, binigyan ng Panginoon ng buhay ang mga nakatira sa tubig, ang mga lumilipad sa himpapawid, at ang mga hayop na naglalakad at gumagapang sa lupa. From then on, animals would be preoccupied with staying alive. They would compete for space, for food and drink, like plants. And that is amoral. That's just the way life is. So kung yung mga hayop man ay naglalaban-labanan, pinag-aagawan sila sa kakainin nilang damo, gumagawa sila ng paraan para mabuhay, we don't judge them as immoral. That's the way life is. They are supposed to stay alive. We understand animals. Genesis 1:26 to 31. God said, now, we will make humans, and they will be like us. We will let them rule the fish, the birds, and all other living creatures. So God created humans to be like himself. He made men and women. God gave them his blessing and said, have a lot of children, fill the earth with people, and bring it under your control. Rule over the fish in the ocean, and birds in the sky, and every animal on the earth. I have provided all kinds of fruit and grain for you to eat, and I have given the green plants as food for everything else that breathes. This will be food for animals, both wild and tame, and for birds. God looked at what he had done. All of it was very good. Now, tao naman ang nilikha. At binigyan ng utos, magpakarami kayo, dahil dadalawa pa lang sila nun. Konti pa lang sila. So magparami kayo, at kayo ang mamahala sa lahat ng nilikha. How do you understand humans? We have to understand that life on the planet is about the balance needed to sustain it. Ecological balance, many people call it. Kanya-kanyang lugar, kanya-kanyang pagkain, kanya-kanyang papel sa buhay. At dahil ang buhay ay buhay, life is about birth. Dapat maipanganak. Kasi hindi ka naman magsisimulang mabuhay kung hindi ka maipapanganak. Birth muna para magka-life, para tuloy ang buhay. Therefore, most of the preoccupation of life is about reproduction. How can you fill the earth if you don't reproduce? How can you dominate God's creation and rule over it if you are a few? So there's one basic truth, that life will mostly be about sex. And it is something that you have to understand from the beginning, or you will misunderstand it all your life. The cycles of life is about puberty, courtship, marriage, childbearing, and even the undesirable extramarital affairs, the attendant lust that goes with being naturally inclined to reproduce, and then all the troubles of being together that leads to divorce, and then remarriage to have a second chance at life again. All these are about reproducing, so that you will have offspring, or having a partner, so that you will have a better quality of life. And even doctors tell us that those who have partners are healthier, and they live longer, and they respond better to medication. So life is about staying alive and staying well. Dikta yan ng kalikasan, hinihingi ng buhay. Genesis 1:27 to 28. So God created humans to be like Himself. He made men and women. So He gave them His blessing and said, have a lot of children, fill the earth with people and bring it under control. Reproduction was life's natural command. Hindi dapat maubos ang tao pag nalagot ang mga saling lahi. Paano pa magkakatao uli? Pero dapat nating unawain na yung utos na yun dahil konti pa yung tao. Pag siyempre sumobra na, survival would require population management. The law of the jungle takes care of that among animals. Pag sobrang dumadami yung palaka, kinakain sila ng mga ahas, mauubos sila uli. Pag sobrang kumonti ang mga ahas, dadami yung palaka. Pagka naubos yung mga palaka, dadami yung lamok. Dapat may balance. Pero sa mga tao, how do you manage that? Of course, responsible parenthood dahil sa kabihasnan. Hindi naman tayo nagkakainan dahil ang dami na nila, ubusin natin, ang dami na nila, patayin natin. It's not like that. That is why the development of the body for sexual reproduction is the sign of the onset of physical maturity. Sa lahat ng matatandang kabihasnan, mga tribal cultures, ipinagdiriwang pag ang isang dalagita ay nagdadalaga na at ang isang binatilyo ay talagang magbibinata na. Adolescence, rites of passage are celebrated. Because of our natural composition, and we are wired to reproduce, sex is a very powerful attraction, motivation, and compulsion. That's why God, in His infinite wisdom, made sex very pleasurable. Because otherwise, it would be hard work. And who would like to work hard without reward or pleasure? So hindi dadami ang tao kung puri work lang yun. That's why the Lord, in His infinite mercy and brilliance, made it nice. But because it's nice, it was prone to be abused. But first of all, you've got to understand it. Ganun talaga, takda, that people will be sexually preoccupied. That is why reproduction, together with real estate, is a major theme in the history of the Israelites. Pag binasa niyo ang Old Testament, dalawa lang ang theme niyan. Pagpaparamihan, panganganak, kahit sa anong paraan, at pagkuha ng mga lupain, pagde-defend dito, at pagsakop sa ibang mga lupain, at paglalagay ng mga bakod at muhon, at mga tanda. Yan ang preoccupation ng Old Testament because Israel was preoccupied with survival. So they always had to be concerned about population growth and real estate management. Because they were always threatened with decimation. Parang lagi na lang silang mauubos. Kaya pati kakainin nila, sobrang ang daming bawal, safe na safe dapat, ang daming tradisyon to keep the population alive. At least until the Messiah was born. Kaya merong mission yung mga Israelites to keep themselves alive. Kaya giyera dito, giyera doon, diet dito, diet doon. at anak dito at anak doon. You will notice that even Jewish morality bended with demographic needs. Ang kanilang sense of right and wrong was shaped by their need to have children. That's why it was all right for the men to have multiple wives. Kasi gera sila ng gera, mamamatay yung mga kalalakihan, uuwi ngayon ng konting lalaki, ang daming babaeng balo. Anong gagawin mo doon? Sino magpapakain sa kanila? Paano sila magkakaanak? So kailangan anakan sila ngayon ng mga natirang kalalakihan. Kaya ang dami nagiging asawa ng mga lalaki noong araw because they were very, very preoccupied with continuing the line. Kaya maraming teaching talaga sa Bible, kung tutuusin mo, lalo sa Old Testament, ang sinasabi lang, sayang ang sperm. Bawal ang sexual activities na nag-aaksaya nito. Pag binasa niyo yung Bible, kaya maraming mga sexual questions tungkol dyan. Bakit namatay si ganon? Bakit napagalitan yun? Kasi nag-aaksaya sila. In the Old Testament, it was the glorified virtue for women to bear children. Kaya parang isinumpa ka kung babae kang hindi magkaanak. As many as possible dapat ang anak. And it was the virtue of men to sire children with only lip service to faithfulness to a wife or to many wives. Napagalitan ba si Solomon na maraming asawa, si David na maraming asawa, si Jacob? Lahat sila. Bakit ganun nung araw? Because they only wanted to be many. Yun ang takda, kailangan mag-survive. And it was considered a blessing to have many children. Siyempre, noon yun, nung maluwag pa yung planeta. Pag wala ka nang maipakain, maitustos, hindi na blessing yun. Dapat nang i-manage. But what's the point here, brothers and sisters? Understand, living beings, plants, animals, the birds and the bees will be sexually obsessed. You have to understand that. You have to begin with that fact so that you will have a grasp of the real situation of people. Pati mga bulaklak, kung nanonood kayo ng mga palabas sa TV tungkol sa biology, mga halaman, flowers, pollination are all about sexual reproduction. The flower of a plant is nothing but its sexual organ. At anong ginagawa ng mga halaman sa kanilang bulaklak? Kinukulayan, pinapabanguhan, nilalagyan ng mga dekorasyon para maakit nila ang mga bubuyog at sila'y puntahan so that there will be pollination or cross-pollination. Whenever you see a flower or a bee, you're seeing sex. And there's nothing immoral about it. Itinakda yun na dapat magkaganon. Ano ngayon ang kinalaman natin dyan? Understand that people will be sexually obsessed. Huwag itong pagtakhan. Hindi ko sinasabing tolerate or encourage, but at least understand it. And people will commit mistakes because of their sexual obsession. People are wired for sex. Sobrang denial pagka yan ay itinanggi ng sinuman. Now, understanding and appreciating this natural reality, might a jealous or a betrayed spouse, a sexual abuse victim, or a conservative person understand and forgive those that offend them? Kaya bang unawain ng isang ginang ang kanyang husband na hindi napigil ang sarili at nagkasala? O ng isang ginang na hindi napigil ang sarili siya ay nagkasala? Kaya ba siyang unawain ng kanyang asawang lalaki? Kaya bang unawain ng isang taong naabuso sexually na yung nang abuse kasi sa akin was sexually obsessed? At kung ano man ang nangyayari sa kanyang buhay noong oras na yun, anong iniisip niya, anong chemical composition ng kanyang blood, ano yung psychological need niya, ano ang nagbunsod sa kanya para gawin ito? Yung mga conservative na na-offend sa mga hindi conservative, kaya nyo bang maunawa na yung mga iba talagang sexually preoccupied kaya halos maghubad na paglagalakad sa kalye to be attractive? Hindi ko sinasabing i-tolerate o kaya encourage. Ang sinasabi lang natin, unawain man lang. Kung saan nagmumula ang mga tao dahil ginagawa nila ang mga ginagawa nila. At itong pag-iisip na ito para sa offended, hindi para sa offender. Dapat ang nag-iisip ng pangunawa ay yung na-offend. Hindi yung nakaka-offend ang nagsasabing, unawain mo ako. No. Pero yung ikaw yung na-offend, ikaw yung nagagalit, ikaw yung nagdaramdam, dapat ka umunawa. Una, para makalaya ka. Kasi kung hindi mo inuunawa, magagalit ka, mamumuhi ka, lugi ka rin. Hindi ka makakapagpatawad. Pag hindi mo inunawa, halimbawa ang spouse mo na minsan nagkamali dahil nadarang, nag-init, nagsiklab, sumabog, maghihiwalay na kayo forever? Itatapon mo na lahat ang pinagsamahan nyo dahil sa isa niyang pagkakamali? Remember, ang kausap ko dito ay yung magpapatawa dahil hindi nagkakamali, dahil hindi ito dapat gawing excuse para patuloy kang magkamali. Pero ikaw, na pwede kang magpatawad, hindi mo ba isipin yan? Ang unang paraan po, nung wala pang mga kabihasnan, was the law of the jungle. Base animalistic nature. Kaya nagkaroon ng civilization. Ano ba ang sibilisasyon? Ano ba ang kabihasnan? Ang civilization dapat may law. May bawal at may parusa sa gagawa ng bawal. Bakit? Pag pinagsama-sama mo ang lahat ng tao na sexually preoccupied, pag pinagsama-sama mo ang lahat ng taong gustong kumain, gustong mag-survive, gustong manaig, ano mangyayari? Chaos, violence. We will trample on the human rights of others. Kaya nagkakaroon ng batas. Yun ang sibilisasyon. Survival of societies depend on order, especially with everyone's overlapping sexual and territorial interests. Bakit may mga taong kailangang magkaroon ng teritoryo katulad ng mga Israelites noon? Pag natutulog ka, ilalakad yung bakod niya, papalaki, yung bakod mo lumiit, ang lote mo. Kainan ng lote, agawan ng mana, agawan ng mga porsyento sa sales. Yan lang yan puro agawan. Because of the basic instinct of people to want to survive. And if possible, beyond survival, to prevail, to dominate. Tulad ng ginagapang ng baging yung halaman hanggang makuba yung halaman at baging na lang na buhay, which is considered amoral among plants. And because we are part of creation, meron tayong likas na gusto mong manaig, gusto mong lumamang, gusto mong ikaw yung makakain, gusto mong agawin yung asawa ng may asawa, kaya may batas. Kaya nagbigay ang Diyos ng batas, at kaya ang bawat sibilisasyon na may batas, sapagkat hindi pwedeng sundin ng tao lahat ang gusto niya. Dahil marami siyang gusto na hindi naman kanya, at hindi dapat niyang makuha. Meron siyang mga gusto na lampas na sa dapat niyang matanggap. Pero ang tendency ng tao, because of this dictation of life to continue itself, we will tend to be selfish, greedy. We will tend to be immoral and bad. When uncontrolled, when unchecked, people will become beasts. Kaya may batas. There is morality. A concept of right versus wrong behavior, which from society to society changes. Dahil kung ano ang pangangailangan ng society na yon, anong tunay nilang kalagayan, anong reality nila, nag-a-adjust doon yung kung ano yung tama at mabuti sa kanila. May mga society sa limbawa na tama lang sa kanila na sunugin nila yung gubat, kasi kainginero pala sila. Pero sa mga environmentalists, hindi tama yon kasi ayaw naman nilang makalbo yung gubat. So nagkakaroon ng kani-kanyang mga pagpapalagay, kaya nagkakaroon ng isang batas sa pambansa para ang lahat doon magsasubmit kasi hindi pwedeng kanya-kanya. Kaya bawal magtapon ng mga basura sa ilog at sa mga kanal kasi alam natin na pagka napuno ng basura mga kanal at umulan, hindi lahat dahil yan tubig, babaha. Everybody's affected. Kaya may batas. That's why there is desirable and undesirable behavior dictated by tradition. There are laws and legal punishments, and they were developed. And more than that, God instituted religion, the arbiter of correctness and wrongness. That's why the Lord appointed prophets and priests to arbitrate and to tell people what is right and what is wrong. Not that because people need to be told, because they know anyway, but because people would like to do what's wrong because it will give them more benefit. That's why it has to be controlled. Katulad na lang ng sobrang sexual appetite, Exodus 20 verse 14, isa sa mga 10 commandments, be faithful in marriage. So hindi mo pwedeng sabing, kasi nag-iinit ang aking damdamin, may apoy sa aking kandungan, busan mo ng tubig. Hindi pwedeng may apoy sa aking kandungan, tapos paglalagablabin mo hanggang buong barangay nagsiklab. May batas ang Diyos tungkol dyan. Hindi pwedeng sinusunod ang lahat ng likas. Kasi dadali niyan tayo sa gulo. Exodus 20:17, another commandment, do not want anything that belongs to someone else. Don't want anyone's wife or husband. So yes, heaven wired you to want to reproduce, to want to have sexual pleasure, but there are limits. So those who are married are limited to their partners. And those who are single should not mess with those who are married, because those married people should be limited to their partners also. So ngayon pinagbabalanse mo yung natural, yung likas, yung biological, at yung spiritual, yung tama, yung mabuti. May remedy naman, because people nga are sexually designed to be active. 1 Corinthians 7:9, sabi ni Paul, if you don't have enough self-control, then go ahead and get married. After all, it is better to marry than to burn with desire. So sabi ni Paul, also, meron kayong mga desires, pues mag-asawa. Ano po yung unsaid? That everything is honorable in the marriage bed. Na dapat lahat ng siklab, apoy, init, lagablab, gawin nyo within marriage, and it's acceptable, even honorable. But outside of that, the law of God and the laws of most lands prohibit it. So marriage, yung ginawa sa Bible na solution sa gulo. Meron kang pagdadalhan ng mga natural mong mga nararamdaman, pero may tamang lugar doon at tamang panahon, and outside of that is not acceptable. To establish order, behavior has been controlled by the temple and by the palace, by the church and by the state. Kaya may mga bawal na legal at bawal din na moral, and usually governments and churches agree on what is wrong and what is right for a certain culture or a certain country. Traditions and social punishments were glorified. Kasi magulo pag walang ganon. At bakit nagalit ang Diyos sa Malakay 2:14? And why isn't God pleased? It is because He knows that each of you men has been unfaithful to the wife you married when you were young. You promised that she should be your partner, but now you have broken that promise. Ito yung sumbat ng Diyos sa mga kalalakihang nagtataksil sa kanilang asawa. Sabi ko noon, galit ako sa inyo, hindi ako natutuwa sa inyo, dahil pinagtataksilan nyo ang mga babaeng pinakasalan nyo ng mga pare-pareho pa kayong bata. Bakit nyo sinisiraan yung pangako? Habang inuunawa ng Diyos that people have sexual needs and urges, He has placed correct venues for such activities, and that is within marriage. Morals, values, institutions, regulations are for order, for smooth interpersonal relations, and for function as community. Hindi ka naman nabubuhay para lang sa sarili. We all share time and space. So there are rules that govern our behavior. Dahil sa selfishness ng tao, kinailangan ng batas at kinailangan ng parusa. Saan man na matinong lipunan, saan man na matinong kumpanya, saan man na matinong pamayanan o pamilya, pinaparusahan ang mali. Pagkat pag hindi mo pinarusahan ang mali, lahat na magkakaroon ng lakas ng loob na gumawa ng mali at magkakawatak-watak, magkakagulo-gulo ang lahat. Regulations are for survival of groups and individuals. Napaka-importante. So understand, in order to survive, thrive, and dominate, some persons could be selfish or selfless. Magkaiba yan, selfish or selfless, pero pareho lang yan, at the end of the day, the person satisfied himself. Meron pong bad selfishness. Halimbawa, konti lang yung pagkain, may crisis, kakainin ko lahat, mamatay ka na lang dyan, selfishness yun, pero bad. Ano yung good selfishness? Konti lang yung pagkain, sa'yo ko ipapakain, ako yung namatay, nabuhay ka, pero sabi niya, anong selfishness doon? Kasi sa pagbibigay ko sa'yo, sumaya ako. Sa katunayan, kung hindi kita bibigyan, lulungkot ako, so ibibigay ko na lang kahit ako yung mamatay. So there's still a tinge of selfishness in it, except that it is a good selfishness against the bad selfishness, parang good cholesterol against the bad cholesterol. Kahit yung mga hero, okay, nagpakabayani si Jose Rizal, niya niya ang sarili niyang mamatay para sa bayan, gusto rin niya. Handang-handa nga siya. So, yung selfishness niya, nakinabang tayong lahat, pero at the end of the day, nakinabang din siya. So, yung nanay na hinihiwa ng basag na bote yung kanyang dibdib para walang masusunggatas yung anak niya dahil natabunan sila ng earthquake, para masusunong ang anak niya kahit dugo niya. Selflessness, di ba? Pero masaya din siyang ginagawa niya yon. So, meron ding benefit yung sarili niya, but it's a good selfishness. Persons could be very traditional or unconventional. Persons could be conservative or innovative, individualistic or groupist. In other words, iba-iba ang tao. Kuminsan hindi mo magugustuhan yung hindi mo katipo, pero isa lang naman ang gusto ng tao eh. Makamit niya yung gusto niyang makamit, magawa niya yung gusto niyang magawa, mangyari yung gusto niyang mangyari, magkakaiba lang ng approach. Some people think that they will survive by being individualistic. Some people think that survival is better when you're groupist. So magkakaiba yung attitude, pero survival pa rin ang layunin. Kanya-kanyang approach, style, pagsisikap mabuhay, at kuminsan pagsisikap manaig o magwagi. Sa contest, magagalit ka ba doon sa nanalo ng first prize? Samantalang pwede rin naman na ikaw yung nanalo, kaya lang hindi ikaw yung nanalo. So there is nothing immoral about winning because you all join it, except that some win and some don't. So hindi ka dapat nagagalit doon sa nanalo. Ganon talaga, siya yung nanalo. Understand people kahit ikaw ang casualty. Iba-iba ang pinanggagalingan, pero isa lang ang pinupuntahan, survival or dominance. Understand others. Understand the un-you. Yung hindi ikaw, yung kabaligtaran mo, unawain mo. Understand your opposite. Understand even the competitor. Meron nga ako isang kausap, sabi ko, pambihira naman yung isang chain of companies. Puro sila na lang, lahat na lang sila. Ang dami-dami na nilang brand, sila na lang nang sila. Sabi naman itong isa, kasi magaling lang sila. Kung hindi naman sila magaling, yung ibang brand ang dadami ng dadami. Ganun lang talaga. Ganun ang buhay. Ba't ka naman nagnenegosyo para kumonti ang branches mo? Di ba? Gusto mong damihan? At kung kaya mong damihan at magagawa mo, dadamihan mo naman talaga. Yung iba hindi lang dumadami dahil hindi nila magawa. So, ganun talaga yung buhay. So, uunawain mo. Understand even favoritism. O hindi kayo paborito ng nanay nyo, siguro hindi kayong kamukha. O hindi kayo yung kamukha yung ugali, ang paborito yung kapatid nyo. Why? Bakit may favoritism? We tend to like people who are like us. Why? By seeing ourselves in others, we see strength in numbers, strength in companionship, so we like them. We don't like people who are not like us. Why? Because they contradict what we want. Ganun lang yon. So pwede mong maunawa yung iba ang pananaw, iba ang ugali, kasi iba sila eh. Tapos sasabihin mo, pambihira naman, inunahan ako ng babaeng yung sa silya. Naunahan ka lang, pero hindi ba possible naman na ikaw yung mauna? Ganun talaga yung buhay. You've got to understand even deception. For survival, sometimes for victory. Hindi ko sinasabing tolerate or encourage, but you've got to understand it. Yun nga Venus flytrap. Kala mo, inosenteng halaman, yung pala, dinedeceive niya yung mga insekto. Pag uminom sila doon sa akala nila'y tubig, asido pala, madadigest sila. Yung may mga halaman na nagkukondirect, bulaklak, pag may dumapong insekto, bigla nila lululunin. Nakikita nyo sa TV. Nature is full of it. Why? Because things have to eat. Ngayon, kung ikaw yung nakain, sorry ka na lang. Naging tanghalian ka ng pating, there's nothing immoral about that, no? Madalas naman, sila naman yung nakakain. Ganun talaga yung buhay. The early bird catches the worm, but the early worm gets caught. Paano naman mabubuhay yung mga ibon kung wala silang natukang mga uod? Sorry mo na lang kung ikaw yung uod today. Ngayon, nabubuhay, ilang bilyong alamang nang nakain ninyo? Nabibilang ba yon? Ang dami nun. Ang dami-daming alamang na kailangan mamatay para lang may sausawan ka ng kare-kare? O ilang itlog ang hindi naging manok dahil gagawin yung breakfast? Ilang baka ang kailangan pumasok sa lata para may corned beef ka pag umaga? Which is not advisable kasi may preservatives. Pero ilang manok na ang naputi ang buhay dahil kailangan mo ng barbecue? Di ba ganun talaga? Siyempre yung manok pag hinahabol mo sa probinsya, hinahabol na lang yung manok kasi gusto nilang kainin. Siyempre yung manok lipad ng lipad. Magagalit ka ba dahil gusto niyang mabuhay? Pero magagalit ba yung manok dahil gusto naman ng taong may kainin bukas? Yun yung buhay. Pag inunawa natin ang ating kapwa-tao from that point of view, sa pambihira naman yung pinsan ko na yan, inagawan kami ng mana. Sa takot din siguro maghirap. Sa gusto niyang manaig, dinisib ka. Kaya may batas. At kaya dapat marunong ka para hindi ka ma-deceive. Dapat hindi ka nandadaya at hindi ka rin padadaya. Because life forms must live. And often it is at the expense of other life forms. Sabi nga nung isang tao sa isang pelikula, the living eat the dead. The only reason why you are living now is because of so many creatures who died because you wanted to eat them. Agawan. Kaya mo bang unawain ang agawan kahit ikaw yung nawalan? Ang taas ito mga kapatid ang pinag-uusapan natin. Kasi ang taas na ng spirito mo, pag naagawan ka na, naunawa mo pa yung ng agaw. At may mga taong ganon, na isnatchan, tapos napaupo, ano niya, kawawa naman. Sino ikaw? Hindi siya. Bakit naman kailangan pa niya mag-snatch? Maunawain. Naiintindihan niya kailangan mabuhay yung tao. Pero pag laging ang tingin mo sa kapwa ay kalaban mo dahil lang gusto niyang mabuhay, magagalit ka sa lahat ng kapwa mo tao kasi lahat ng kapwa mo tao gustong mabuhay. Magagalit ka doon sa na-promote sa office. Yan kasi sip-sip, na-promote tuloy. Kasi ganito. Siyempre, ikaw ba ayaw mo ma-promote? Ang salagay, wala siyang gagawin para hindi siya ma-promote. Natural lang yun. Kaya may the best person win. Ganun lang yun. Walang personalan. Now, use this to understand, not to seek to be understood. Do not use this as an excuse to be uncivilized. But when people are uncivilized to you, at least understand them. Sasabihin mo, kasi tao. Kasi marami nagtatanong lagi sa akin sa tagal-tagal ko ng pastor, mga kapatid, na 3 dekada, Pastor, paano po ba nagpapatawad? Hindi ko talaga magawa. Hindi ka nakakapagpatawad kasi hindi mo inuunawa. Pag naunawaan mo na, doon ka lang nagpapatawad. Kaya ang mga magulang, madali magpatawad. Kung minsan hindi pa nga nagkakasala yung anak, napapatawad na. Bakit? Kasi kilala nila yung anak at inuunawa nila. Bakit po violento yung anak nyo? Tapos napangasawa ko siya. Alam mo kasi iha nung bata yan, nabagok. Nadagan na ng tren ng ulo niya. So, dahil uunawaan mo siya, napapatawad mo. Bakit po ang damot-damot ng anak nyo? Kasi alam mo nung maliit yan, taghirap kami noon, wala yang nakaing masarap, at nag-aagaw-agaw sila magkakapatid, lagi siyang talo. Kaya ngayon, ayan, hanggang ngayon, nakikipag-agawan pa. You understand because you know. Hindi ko sinasabi mga kapatid na mag-tolerate tayo at gawin natin masama ang ugali natin. Pero pag may taong masama ang ugali, hindi nyo mapatawad, subukan yung unawain mo na. Bakit siya ganun? Mga ginang, kaya nyo bang maunawa yung mga kiridang inagawang asawa nyo? So una, no? Pero pag naisip mong, sexually abused pala yun nung maliit, wala palang nagmahal sa kanya, kaya nung makita niya ang asawa mo, sabi niya, mahalin mo ako para sa lahat ng hindi nagmahal sa akin. So baka pwede yun ang simulang maunawa, ano? Tapos yung pala, insecure siya, natatakot siya mapag-isa, hindi man yun siguro matanggap, pero mababawasan ang galit nyo. And then you will begin to see this woman as, kawawa naman. Bakit kailangan niyang mang-agaw ng asawa ng may asawa? Kasi walang tumototoo sa kanya ba? So maunawaan nyo, importante. Now, life is about reproduction. Number 2, life is about growth. Hindi naman pwede ipanganak ka lang tapos na. Dapat lumaki ka. So, you understand consumption. People will be consumers. Sa Bible nga, nung taghirap, nagkaroon ng famine, may mga nanay na iniluto ang kanilang mga anak. Can you imagine? Tapos, nagpatalinuhan. Yung 2 nanay, sabi niya, alam mo, lutuin natin yung mga anak natin. Sabi naman ng isa, sige, yung anak mo muna. Pumayag naman tong isa. Di nagkain na sila. Nung nakakain na sila ngayon, bumalik na yung katinuan. Nung ngayon magugutom na sila uli, sabi naman nung isa, yung anak mo naman, ayoko nga. Nagkagalit sila, nagsumbong sa hari. Dahil bakit sabi yung anak ko, niluto namin, siya anak niya ipaluto. Ba't ka nauna na pumayag? Kaya may cannibalism. You can never tell. Nakikita nyo yung mga boat people, mga refugees from other Asian countries. Sinisikap nila magpunta sa Pilipinas, sa Palawan. Sasakay sila sa bangkang liit-liit na walang makina. Sa gitna ng dagat, nagkakain na sila. Ang daming ganon. Because life must live. The living eat the dead. That's why we need morality, we need God, and we need government. Otherwise, the law of the jungle will prevail. Gusto kong ipakadiin-din at paulit-ulitin. Hindi ito para maging excuse para tayong mag-asal hayop. Pero unawain natin yung mga nag-aasal hayop. What makes them do that? What is their need? Ano ba ang kanilang genes? Ano bang mga uri ng dugo ang nananalaytay sa kanilang mga ugat? Ano ba ang kanilang blood type? Ano ang body type? Ano ang childhood nila? Ano ang experiences nila in education? Anong upbringing? What emotion are they going go through? What are their deprivations? Ano ang kanilang mga pangunahing mga gusto sa buhay? Ano ang nararamdaman nila? What was their body chemistry? Lahat yan naghahalo-halo, naglalakip-lakip. So people behave the way they behave. To understand the complexity of the human behavior will be to set yourself and get yourself ready to love people. So you understand selfishness. Nasubukan niyo naman, may kasama kayo sa bahay na bodybuilder, gusto niya kainin na lahat yung pagkain, hindi ba? Parang lahat ng karne doon, lahat ng steak doon, kailangan makain niya. Kasi yung mga muscle niya, bawat niya nagsisisigaw, karne. Calcium. Kaya nangangayayat yung mga asawa ng bodybuilder. Liba nilang alaki ng budget nila. Sa kanya napunta lahat yung calcium. So may mga nang-uuna, nag-aagaw, kasi tao. Nag-aagawan sa bus, nag-aagawan sa ganito, kasi gusto makauwi. May nakatakda sa tao, tulad ng genes, at meron din naman nakokontrol, kaya tinitimpla. Pag alam mo na galing ka sa isang lahing marahas, isang lahi na mainitin ang ulo, lagi nagagalit, alam mo na magtatrabaho ka extra hard to control it. Kasi you're genetically predisposed to be violent. May genetics involved Pero hindi yan excuse dahil may spirito tayo that is above matter. Kaya laging tinitimpla yung lupa, yung espiritu, yung makadiyos, yung makalupa, para magkaroon tayo ng behavior na katanggap-tanggap para sa lahat ng nasa paligid sa atin. So life is about reproduction, life is about growth, and life is about continuity, perpetuity. Dapat tuloy-tuloy ang lahi, ang mga saling lahi, and that brings us back to reproduction. Kaya yung sex na yan, isa sa napakalaki mga motivation sa mundo. Hindi yan matatapos, hindi yan mauubos. Live with it because it's there. You only have to put it under control. You have to put it under checks and balance, under the checks of decency, morality, correctness, but it will be there. You've got to understand it, that once in a while, people who work hard to check themselves will have lapses, will fall, will have errors. What do you do when that happens? Sasabihin mo, tao kasi. Ang nagsasabi nun yung na-offend, hindi yung offender. Reproduction, progeny, heritage, this is main. Kaya sobra tayong magmahal sa anak. Bakit mahal na mahal ng tao ang kanyang anak? Bakit kahit unggoy, mahal yung anak niya? Bakit kahit bibe, mahal yung anak niya? Yung manok, mahal yung kanyang mga inakay? Nagpasya ba yung manok na mamahalin niya yung inakay? Nagpasya ba yung bulate na mamahalin niya yung kanyang anak? Nagpasya ba yung mga pagong na poprotect nila yung kanilang mga itlog, tatabunan nila ng mga buhangin? No, nakatakda, inilagay doon ng Diyos. Mamahalin mo ang iyong anak. Bakit? Through your anak, mabubuhay ka forever in the sense that your genes will flow from generation to generation. There will be perpetuity. There will be eternity. Kaya likas ang pagmamahal sa anak. Napaka-abnormal na hindi mo mahal ang anak mo. Ngayon, mahal mong anak mo, gusto mo siya maging first honor. Mahal din ang kumare mo yung anak niya, gusto niya maging first honor. Naglalabanan kayo ngayon. There is nothing immoral about it. May the better person win. Walang personalan, kung yung anak niya naging first honor, naggalit na kayo forever dahil natalo yung anak mo. Ganun talaga. Natural lang sa kanila, gusto nila siyempre manalo, alangan namang hindi. So, importante mga kapatid, unawain ang kapwa. But above the genes, above body chemistry and electricity, is the Spirit of God. Tao tayo. Dapat tayo ay pinamamahalaan ng decency, morality, nobility of character, because we should not offend the Spirit of God that resides in our bodies. Yun ang batas sa sarili. Ang batas mo sa iba, to understand, to forgive, and to love even those that offend and victimize us. To do that, we need to understand life, the composition, needs, and the point of view of the other person. You've got to look at life from the point of view of your opponent, from the point of view of your competitor. Again, we should never use these principles as excuses for our lack of civility and consideration. But we could use this to help us understand others. Especially if that other is your husband or parent or child or brother or sister or friend or neighbor. We could only use them to understand others. We could only use them to comfort ourselves and others, and to warn us against our own untamed animalism. Pag inaalala natin ang lahat na ito, para lang paalalahanan ang sarili natin na pag hindi natin sinupil ang ating sarili, magiging mga asal hayop tayo. So sinusupil mo yung sarili. May buffet, nauna ka doon sa pila, magpakatao ka, huwag mong kunin lahat. Kailangan may matira sa iba. Kumisan buffet pa lang, bagsak na eh. Para na tayong mga beasts. Para ka mauubusan. Alam niyo yung mga nauuna sa buffet, yung first 10 people, you've got to be very fast. Huwag niyong kunin lahat, bumalik na lang kayo. Kasi ang tagal maghintay. Pag hindi kayo yung kumukuha, tapos ito, ano nga ba gusto ko dito? Ay, ito nga ba? Ayun nga ba? Gusto ba nang itulak eh, ang tagal-tagal? Nararamdaman niyo ba yan sa buffet? Ang arte-arte nung kumukuha, ganyan-ganyan pa, konti-konti, hindi lang isang sandok na malaki agad. We have to be considerate of others who are hungry. Alam niyo naman tao, pag nagugutom, nagiging hayop. Pag nabusog na ulit, bumabalik yung pagkatao. You see, body chemistry. So be generous and understanding of others. Be self-controlled and strict with yourself. 1 Peter 5:8. Be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. So understand your competitor, your opponent, your assailant, your aggressor, your offender. Gusto lang niyang mabuhay. Kung minsan kailangan niyang agawin sa iyo yung ikakabuhay niya, kaya bantayan mo. O magbigay ka na ng kusa para hindi ka na kailangang agawan. Aong hindi niyo maunawaan, nagagalit kayo, nainis kayo, natalo kayo, naagawan kayo, nadaya kayo, nasaktan kayo. Think of them also as victims. Think of them as people who are only trying to survive, who are trying to get a piece of land, or some amount of money, or some fame, some honor, some pleasure, some recognition, even some affection. Think of the many people who offend and hurt you as victims too. Panginoon, turuan niyo po kami. Kung di man namin lubos na mayakap at mamahal yung mga taong galit kami, maunawa man lang namin. At sa pangunawa, makapagpatawad kami dahil ito ang iyong utos. At ito rin ang paraan para mapatawad mo kami. Pagbulay-bulayan natin mga kapatid, how to understand others. Travel beyond yourself, beyond your selfish world,